It's really interesting because we had never made a gnocchi freezer meal ever.
Ever.
Until we did.
And now we kind of can't stop.
Because it's so easy. You buy the refrigerated gnocchi that you get in your store, like it's over by the fresh pastas and that kind of thing. And it's the potato gnocchi that we've been using. Then you don't have to pre-cook it. You don't pre-boil it. It cooks up either on the sheet pan, in the skillet, in the pot, like whatever.
And it's minutes.
So easy.
It's minutes. And can I tell you something really, really funny? I noticed that the last time I bought some, it said right on the bag, do not freeze. And I'm like, why? Why? And we've been freezing them and they're wonderful.
We have used these in so many different freezer meals and they're amazing. To the point where we've got 3 of these recipes in our Freezer Meals 101 club already. There's 2 or 3 more on their way there because they're so good. We've had one fail, which we'll tell you about in a bit, but these are like, there's so much variety here. My kids love these. I love these. Your family loves these. Like, easy, delicious, and just something different too.
It's something different.
Pasta. It's not meat and potatoes, but it's potatoes.
Right?
So we're gonna share with you these awesome gnocchi recipes today, and stay tuned to the end of the video because we're gonna share the newest ones, which for me are kind of the most exciting, but we're gonna share the newest ones at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. The first one that we're sharing with you was one of the first ones we ever made, and it is our sausage gnocchi sheet pan meal. We love a good sheet pan.
We sure do.
And this one is super flavorful and yet somehow fresh because of the vegetables. Into your large freezer bag, you're gonna add some red, yellow, and orange bell peppers that are in large chunks, and then purple onion in large chunks, some andouille or chorizo sausage that's been cooked and sliced and halved, minced garlic, oregano, salt, olive oil, and 1 pound of that refrigerated potato gnocchi. You're going to just toss everything together in the bag to combine it. Then you're gonna get out as much air as you can and seal it. When you're doing freezer cooking, air is the thing that's going to cause your freezer burn. So we always want you to get as much air as you can out of those bags before freezing. Now this one is so nice and colorful that you just know it's gonna be flavorful and healthy and delicious.
And delicious. Yes.
I guess flavorful and delicious are the same thing, but
hey, there can't be too many descriptive words to describe wonderful food that you're eating.
On the day you go to cook this, you just thaw it, spread it out in a single layer on a baking sheet. You can line the baking sheet with parchment paper or foil to make cleanup even easier, but you're only gonna have one dish anyway, which is awesome. You bake this in your oven for 35 minutes, so just a little over half an hour, and you've got a full meal on the table. Also, you can make this one in the air fryer.
Oh, yes, you can.
And it's done even faster in the air fryer.
It is. And I mean, we have gnocchi skillet recipes, we have air fryer recipes, we have sheet pan recipes. Even gnocchi is versatile, who knew?
I'm experimenting with a gnocchi soup recipe, but that isn't in this video because I'm still really, tossing around.
It's like a dumpling.
Yeah.
I like that idea, actually. I wonder how I'm excited now.
So I've got 2 options, but one of them requires like a thickening of the sauce, which is tricky with freezer cooking. So yeah, we'll see.
We will see. So this next recipe is pesto gnocchi, which is, again, just so flavorful. The burst of pesto makes it really exciting in your mouth, and it is super simple to put together. Into our large freezer bag, we are going to add our gnocchi, our pesto, some heavy cream, some chicken broth or white wine, some minced garlic, some frozen peas, and some salt and pepper. In another bag, we're going to add shredded Parmesan cheese, and then we're going to get the excess air out of both those bags because air is the enemy. And then we're going to staple the bags together after sealing them up. Make sure you staple above the line. We don't want holes in the important part of our bag. Then you're going to freeze them. On the day of cooking, you're going to dump your big bag into a small pot or a small skillet. Bring it to a boil, cover and cook it for 5 minutes, and then you're going to top it with Parmesan cheese, allow it to melt, and then serve. Now, this could be a side dish, this could be a main, this could be just yummy, because it is.
It is yummy, and it's 7 minutes. Like, we're not exaggerating, like 7 minutes and you've got dinner. So yes, because it is vegetarian, some people might choose to have it as a side. In my family, this would be the meal. We might serve it with a side salad, but yes, it's really good.
It's really good. Mm-hmm.
It's a good one.
While we are on skillet gnocchis, this is the gnocchi sausage skillet.
Oh, one of my sons is
it's kind of insane.
Enough of this. Like,
it is kind of insane.
Is that an adjective? Like, oh.
I think you're right.
Just try it. Like that's what I have to say about this.
That is entirely true. And now it makes me like, we were talking recently about freezer meals that we make in between sessions. Like, what do you enjoy and what do you miss in between sessions? And this could totally be one of those that it would be, and it's easy to put together.
It's that good. And you know, I would say if you have to pick one of the gnocchi recipes only, that maybe this would be the one. Now it is heavier, so we have some that are lighter. So if you're in the mood for something lighter, then yeah, don't pick this one. But if you're going through and you're like, I'm not sure if I like gnocchi and I'm not sure how I feel and I don't want to make all the gnocchi recipes, this
is a great place to start. That's the one. In our bag, we are going to add our ground Italian sausage that has been browned. Now you can have mild or spicy. You're going to add in your potato gnocchi, minced garlic, some diced tomatoes, some chopped onion, some chicken broth, some pepper, and some basil. In a second bag, we're going to add in some shredded matzah and some more shredded Parmesan. And we're going to take the air out of those bags, seal them up, and freeze them after stapling them together. On the day of cooking, you are going to cook the ingredients of the large bag just in a skillet over medium-high heat on the stove. Seriously, 5 or 6 minutes. Then you're going to stir in 3 to 4 cups of fresh spinach until it's been wilted. Then you're going to top it with cheese and cover it and cook for another additional 4 or 5 minutes just to allow that cheese to melt. It can be on low heat and that is totally fine. Listen, it's got spinach in it, it's got cheese in it, it's got sausage in it. You could eat sawdust with this and it would be delicious, but I promise you the gnocchi is really, really great.
So then you've got your potato too, so you've got your starch, like it has all the things. And it's 11 minutes.
Right?
So, well, maybe a little longer for your spinach to melt. So, like on the far side, 15 minutes. And you have a full dinner on the table, which is amazing.
That is really amazing.
Now, one of the things that we would suggest, if you already know that you love gnocchi and you're like, yes, give me all the gnocchi, give me all the gnocchi recipes you have, then what you can do is wait until you find a sale on gnocchi, and that's actually how we came to start trying gnocchi recipes in the first place.
Because it was a wicked sale, wasn't it?
2 for 1, which it's hard to get better than a 2 for 1 because it's 50% off. And you could buy like a lot because if you're going to be making them and freezing them, you don't have to worry about them going bad. And I know that people will say, and the bag said, don't freeze, but we've been doing this for about a year now and they have all turned out beautifully. And we don't tell you that these are good until they've sat in our freezer for even up to 3 months and then been cooked up and tried by both of our families, which is a lot of people.
It is.
And then
it's a lot of opinions.
Then we say it's good. So we do have someone who is in our Freezer Meals 101 club. The link for that is down below. If you're not sure what that is, that's something that like takes the guesswork out for you. You could type in gnocchi and it would just populate all the gnocchi recipes, so you know, okay, there's a sale, I'm gonna just get those. It would print out your shopping list, your prep list, your labels with the cooking instructions, and do all the heavy lifting and hard work for you. But there was someone in our club who said in our Facebook group, link for that is also down below, sound like a broken record, but anyway, that she tried one of the gnocchi meals, and it's the first time that a club recipe wasn't her favorite thing ever. And it turns out that she had used the shelf-stable gnocchi and not cooked it. And so we were able to like troubleshoot with her and figure out what the problem was. So we've made sure to make it really clear in the recipes now that it has to be
the fresh,
yeah.
Yes. If you use the shelf-stable, you just have to boil it first, or cook it longer on the day of.
And maybe add some liquid.
Maybe add some liquid in.
So it would change the recipes, but which is why we recommend just using the fresh. But I had to kind of laugh because she was like, after we figured out the problem, she was like, I knew you guys wouldn't steer me wrong. I have never had a recipe from you that I didn't love. So
that's really awesome.
Go. It's a compliment, and yet it was like she was saying, I don't like this, so it was
that is really funny.
It all worked out in the end.
Yes, it did.
If you're on the edge of your seat, like,
did she like it?
Yeah.
Yes,
it's
she
all
did.
good. Okay, now we're moving into some of our newer gnocchi sheet pans. One of these has a bit of a backstory, and that is that in our last mega session, our mega sessions are when we make 3 months worth of freezer meals at a time, so over 100. It's like a 2-day process. They're fun videos to watch because it's a little bit like, what are they doing? And we show you like start to finish and the mess of the kitchen. We're very real. But you can look at that video there or in the description below. We'll put a link. And in that mega session, we always try new recipes, like brand new. And then we're not really able to let you know in those videos how they are, but we always let you know after. So we did a Tuscan sun-dried tomato gnocchi sheet pan.
Yes.
And no.
It was a flop. So Charlotte tried it first and said no. It was just like, I think you said disgusting. You might have.
Bad.
It was bad. And so I still have 2 left in my freezer, right? So I'm like, okay, what can I do to salvage this? Because I don't want to waste it and I don't know what to do with it. So I decided to do it in my skillet for starters. And she said part of the problem was that the tomatoes crisped up and they dried out, and it wasn't that part.
It didn't have enough liquid. And
so I added some liquid. I added in some chicken broth. At home, I have converted to using the Better Than bouillon. And so I always have something on hand that I can, just boil the water and add the additive, and it reconstitutes and makes your chicken broth. So I added, I don't know, maybe half a cup, maybe 3/4 a cup. I just kept adding more. And I feel like I salvaged it to the point where like it was edible and actually enjoyable. Charla she's like, no, it is not going in the club. It is not good enough. I actually didn't think it was too bad.
Because for me, like edible, we're not going
It was tasty.
Edible, we're going for amazing, best recipes you've ever had in your life. Like
now, I did have my second one, so I did the thing again where I did it in the skillet. I found after our meal was done, I noticed that a lot of our family had eaten the gnocchi and left the sun-dried tomatoes aside. So if we were going to go ahead with it, I would use a little. Whoops, I'm like playing with your hair. I would use a little bit less of the sun-dried tomatoes because it seemed like it was as much of that as there was of the gnocchi, and maybe it's something that should be sprinkled in and not eaten by the spoonful. So there was a lot of things wrong with that, and you won't see it in the club. We will save you from it.
No, don't ever make the Tuscan gnocchi sun-dried tomato sheet pan. However,
there are sun-dried tomatoes coming. I know, yes, I know there are.
I liked the idea of the sun-dried tomatoes and the gnocchi. Mm-hmm. We like sun-dried tomatoes around here. We've got some really great recipes. We've got a Marry Me chicken that we've been making like just for years and years and years.
Wonderful.
It's amazing. We have like quite a lot of recipes that
The
have
seafood
sundried
curry
tomato.
has
Yeah.
it. Probably one of my favorite all-time freezer meal recipes.
So it was like, you know, I with potato and something, I just thought this is worth exploring. But with a lot more liquid, you're gonna see it's not a sheet pan, and good flavors that can meld these things together so that it's not like sun-dried tomatoes, potato gnocchi.
Right.
You know, it's like a married couple who are fighting and their backs are to each other. Like, it wasn't good. So this is our newly redesigned sun-dried tomato gnocchi.
Yay!
Creamy sun-dried tomato
Oh, that sounds
gnocchi.
lovely. Tell us about it.
Into your large freezer bag, you're going to add your refrigerated gnocchi. Then you're going to add some sun-dried tomatoes. Now, it is important that you either use the actual dried sun-dried tomatoes, which you can get in a bag, or that you pat the oil out of your sun-dried tomatoes and you want to slice them if you're using them from a jar. Then you're going to add some vegetable broth, some heavy cream or whipped cream, Parmesan cheese, minced garlic, basil, a bit of red pepper flakes, more if you like things spicier, salt, and pepper. Then in a quart-sized freezer bag, you're gonna add some shredded mozzarella cheese. You're gonna get the air out of both bags, staple them together above the seal. On the day you go to make this, you thaw it, and you're gonna heat your large bag ingredients in a skillet over medium heat for 10 minutes or less. Then you're gonna top that with the mozzarella and cover it so that the cheese can melt and serve.
Voila!
It's fixed. This is like the sun-dried tomatoes and the potato are a couple who have like reconnected. Right?
Yes, that happens. There are seasons of life in marriage and in freezer meals.
So we have salvaged the sun-dried tomato gnocchi idea. And this next one is decidedly less elevated. It is a 5-ingredient recipe, which I know you like. This is a kid-friendly pizza gnocchi.
Oh, pizza anything is kid-friendly. In your bag, you're going to add your refrigerated gnocchi, half a green pepper that has been diced, your pepperoni slices, some pasta sauce, and that's it. You're gonna mix it around. Now, let me tell you, if you want to add other pizza sort of toppings into your casserole, I think it would probably be fine, but they're your kids. You know what they will eat. Maybe the black olives you should probably skip. I don't know, but I would put them in mine. Maybe mushrooms, you know.
Kids would eat that, yep.
Your kids would eat that. One of my kids would eat that. And then in another bag, we're going to add our mozzarella cheese. We are going to take all of the air out of those bags, seal them up, and staple them together before we freeze them. And then on the day of cooking, we thaw it and put it into a casserole dish and top it with the cheese. And that's it. It's going to go into our oven at about 350, 375 for what, 15 minutes? Boy, it is fast and simple and tasty. And something else, if, you know, we haven't mentioned it recently, but in our Freezer Meals 101 club, we have something called red sauce, which is like one of the best things in the club because it can go in so many different dishes, and we pretty much use it in place of pasta sauce when we can. Because it's a big batch, we make it and then we'll plan a bunch of meals around using the red sauce in place of the pasta sauce. And it is really fantastic. So if you are a member of the club and you haven't tried the red sauce yet, please go head over and do that and get your gears going with it. And if you are not a member of the club, it would be worth it to join the club just for that alone. There's a link down below.
True, and we have a new thing in the club where if you type in red sauce in the keyword box, it'll populate every recipe of ours that you can substitute red sauce for whatever sauce is in the dish.
Yes.
So at the beginning of this video, I was telling you to stay tuned to the end because we're gonna have the newer recipes, and that pizza one is new. The sun-dried tomato version
2.0.
yes, is new. And then this next one is also new. And this, can you tell I'm excited about it? I totally am. We just had it for the first time the other night, And so this is our lemon chicken gnocchi sheet pan.
Ah, more sheet pans. Yay!
More sheet pans, less dishes, all the world rejoice. This one is like also for this time of year, it's like got really fresh flavors. Like, it's just nice and fresh. Where some of them are a little heavier, which is good too because they're hearty.
And they're comfort foods, and there's
Yeah.
a time and place, right?
This one, whoop, zing. Okay, so into your large freezer bag, you're going to add 2 chicken breasts that are raw and cubed. And then you're gonna add your gnocchi, frozen Brussels sprouts, frozen broccoli, a purple onion that's been cut in large chunks, some minced garlic, lemon juice, olive oil, oregano, mint, and a little bit of salt. You're just gonna, mix that all together in your bag so you don't have to dirty a bowl when you're making this. And then you're going to get out the air, seal it, and freeze it. On the day you go to make this, you thaw it. You put this on a parchment paper lined cookie sheet, bake it at 425 for just 20 to 25 minutes. Ours was just perfect. And if you want, you could sprinkle some crumbled feta on this at the end of cooking. Put it back in for like 1 or 2 minutes under broil to let the feta kind of crisp up. It's so good. And again, because this one has the chicken and the gnocchi and tons of vegetables, this is a full meal. Under half an hour.
Right? You don't get that very often. Well, actually, you do a lot in our club.
With our recipes.
With our recipes. You do. That sounds really great, and I haven't had the chance to try this one yet, but I'm really looking forward to it.
In case you're looking for more than just gnocchi recipes,
what?
We're gonna pop the video right there of that mega session that we did that had 156 meals.
That had the bad gnocchi.
Bad gnocchi. Don't make that one, but some of the other ones in there are amazing, and actually most of the brand new ones are winners
really good.
And keepers.
We had a lot of keepers out of this batch. It was good.
It was a great session, actually.
Yeah, it was.
And we've only got about another month before our next mega session.
So make sure that you hit subscribe and click that little bell so you'll be notified when that mega session drops.
Thanks for watching today, and happy cooking.